Good morning and welcome, guys. We did it. We are halfway through the week already, and I have got a very special guest with me today. Let me welcome Ryan from Outpost. Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me. You said a very special guest. I thought maybe we're bringing someone else on. But no, I'm happy to be here. That's an awesome intro, by the way. I just used the
Thank
very
you.
generic 30-second countdown that everybody's incredibly tired of and over from StreamYard. So that's really cool. But thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You are very welcome. We're absolutely very excited to get to chat with you today because I know you're a very, very busy guy. But before we jump into it, let me just say hello to the chat. So we've got Project Storytime. He says, "Welcome to the radicalized one."
Thank you. I assume you're talking to me. Maybe that's a bad assumption, but I think it's me.
Let's see. We've got both of the mods. We've got Mark and Chris. Hello, guys. Good morning. We've got Keely Chow. Roll Tide, Keely. We have got the lovely Arwin. Good morning, Arwin. Good to see you. Lord Thoth, Zachara. Hello, guys. Let's see. We've got Sherry and we've got Leia. Hello, ladies. Good to see you. Let's see who else has joined. We've got Bigglesmet. Hello and welcome. Hey, Bigglesmet.
Now I saw Biggles accuse me of being late. That was not the case. We were both on time. We had some technical difficulties, so no one's fault. Computer's fault.
And it was only by a minute anyway, so
exactly, yeah.
We can roll with it. Daryl the Derelict, hello, good morning, and Debud Martin, welcome, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. So, before we kind of get into it and get really kind of stuck into discussion, let me say a very big happy birthday to Ryan. It was his birthday on Monday.
It was. Yeah, it was my birthday on Monday. I did not expect that many people to wish me happy birthday. That was kind of crazy and overwhelming and humbling. But yeah, I turned 33. So, nobody looks forward to getting older, but it makes it a little bit better when you get that many people reaching out to you. So it was a really good birthday.
That's awesome. I'm glad you had a good one. But it just goes to show, people really, really love what you guys are doing. You are going from absolute strength to strength. You've got so many fantastic channels at the moment. We were talking in the green room before we started. You were saying how well that the new political channel is going.
Yeah, and it seems like we're always talking about how many channels we have between myself and Jeremy and everybody Geeks and Gamers. And then I just keep starting another one. It keeps starting one again. But it's a good thing because we were talking a little bit before as well that I was active duty military for the majority of the time that I had my channel. And I recently separated. And I kept that very private because I didn't want anyone to think that my viewpoint was reflective of anything from the military, so I kept it very private, but I also can't be super outspoken about politics, while in the military. There's a couple of restrictions for that publicly. So once I got out, that freed me up to talk about whatever I wanted. I've been wanting to delve into politics for quite some time. And I also wanted to keep it a little bit separate from everything else I'm doing because I know that some people just aren't interested in hearing about that. So, and that's a good avenue for me over at Patriot Outpost.
Yeah, Patriot Outpost, it's a fantastic channel, guys. If you're not subscribed, I urge you to do so. But I can't imagine a better time to have started this sort of channel. I mean, we've got so much going on at the moment. It's like, what stories do you pick to cover?
Yeah, that's true. And that's a great problem to have. And October was that. October was absolutely that for me. I think I made around 80 videos for my channel in the month of October. I made something like 84 for the Sports Wars channel. So it's part of Geeks and Gamers, Sports Wars. And I made a bunch for the political channel. It's just been crazy. There's been no lack of content for sure. And that's a good thing.
That's amazing. And just before I grab this super chat for Mexican Iron Man, thank you, Papi. I've got to ask, you mentioned, Jeremy, is this a competition kind of thing? To see who's got the more channels? Or is it just you like having channels?
Well, that is a good one. I mean, me and Jeremy are incredibly competitive, and the only reason he's probably going to start making more videos for D-Day Cobra, his personal channel, is because I'm starting to catch him in subs. So now that I'm nipping at his heels, you're going to see him go to overdrive on that channel because he doesn't want me to beat him to 100K. But no, it's just YouTube is strange this way. YouTube doesn't want you to talk about a lot of different things. YouTube would probably prefer you just talk about one single thing. So if you're going to talk about Star Wars lore, you should just talk about Star Wars lore. That'll reward you in YouTube. So, and that's why I made a channel specifically for gaming stuff, whether it's streams or gaming videos. And when I focus on that channel for a week or two, it does really well. The views do really well over there compared to the size. And that's why I started the political channel, because everything, they like you to keep stuff separate. So that's what we've found out, at least while doing YouTube. That's what's best for the algorithm. So whenever we want to delve in and branch into something else, we think maybe might be better just to start a brand new channel.
Just start afresh and just go with it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let me say a massive thank you to Mexican Iron Man. Thank you. It says, wait, what? There's no way this is happening. My purple with my man RK. Holy crap, this day feels like it's my birthday present. Oh, happy day. Hail Purple Valkyrie. Hail RK Nation. Love for Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Mexican Iron Man is the man. I love this dude. He's always so supportive of everybody, including myself, from like the very beginning. So much respect, brother. Glad you're here.
Absolutely. We love Mexican Iron Man. He supports so many people. Let's kind of jump into it. You mentioned about YouTube, and we were talking about the algorithm, and you're absolutely right. You know, it does seem to reward people that just stick to the one subject, but it's not just sticking to the one subject, it's sticking to within the parameters of whatever subject that you've chosen. It seems that if you kind of deviate and get a little bit spicy, perhaps, that's when you get hit.
Yeah, and it definitely depends on what you're talking about. For instance, in October, I had a really good month, had a couple big topics that blew up for me, including the Dave Chappelle stuff, the Dave Chappelle Netflix stuff, and the Alec Baldwin stuff. And at one point, it was very strange. I was able to say Alec Baldwin Rust shooting. I was able to say Alec Baldwin loaded gun. I was able to say live ammo. I was say all these things. I was able to say Dave Chappelle trans protesters, Dave Chappelle trans employee walkout. All of a sudden, overnight, after all these views have been taken off, that wasn't the case. Every time I used the word trans, I got limited. Every time I used the word shooting, I got limited immediately. And it got to the point, there were a few days there where I would upload something and I would just title it Cats and Dogs, and it would get limited just because there was a change. They obviously wanted to try to suppress kind of the independent people from talking about these things. And we see it a lot.
We do, and people will claim, you know, it's a bit of it's a conspiracy theory. You know, it's still the idea that YouTube is for everybody, but at the end of the day, YouTube is also about a business. You know, it is about making money, and you know, at the end of the day, we are just creators on this platform. Do you think? I
think that like you're sorry I cut you off. I think the whole like conspiracy thing. I think that it's one thing when someone, maybe they got like, 10,000 subscribers, maybe they got 5,000 subscribers, and they're saying they're not letting me grow. They're not letting me get any subscribers. I think on the individual basis, I don't really think they target people like that very often. No. I think an exception to that would be someone like Nick Rekieta, who's been blowing up with his coverage of the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff. And we've kind of seen over the past few days as he creeps and he starts dominating the mainstream media sources for this. All of a sudden a glitch will happen on YouTube. Something will happen. They'll change his over to kids mode. And it'll do something. I think that's specifically targeted, but the vast majority of the time, I think it's overall policies that are enacted to kind of shut down a lot of voices or suppress a lot of voices in favor of the mainstream. But yeah, there's definitely every once in a while you see those individual cases.
Yes, it seems to be the way, like you say, but I think it's a case of, as you said, with whatever words that you were saying, that's what was getting picked up on. It's not specifically the creator. It's, something's pinging that they're picking up on, and it's just getting, pulled, or it's being suppressed, which is a shame, to be honest, because as Daryl said in the chat, YouTube has forgotten that without creators there wouldn't be this site. And and there's different rules for us. I think that's the problem. Over on my Patriot Outpost channel, the first video that really took off for me over there was Joe Rogan and Sanjay Gupta talking about the vax, talking about stuff like that. And
it got to 30,000 views in like 24 hours. And my channel is pretty small over there. So I was stoked. It got me to monetization. I was incredibly happy. And then it got taken down for medical misinformation. And I mean, I didn't give anyone any advice. I didn't give anyone any information that wasn't on that stream. And the same clips that I was using were also on CNN's YouTube channel.
Yes, exactly.
CNN's video was fine. No problem there from the mainstream media, but for the independent creators, it's a problem. And that they want, the problem is, I agreed wholeheartedly with what Daryl said, was it was supposed to be about YouTube. Like that was the uniqueness of YouTube, that it was built by people like us, everyday people, not the mainstream media. Now, as the mainstream media and these big corporations continue to kind of fail, or they continue to get left behind because more people are interested in watching someone like Crowder or whatever than CNN. So now they have tried to infiltrate this space, and they want advantages, and they're willing to pay a lot of money to get those advantages to keep the influence. And it just, it stinks in that way.
Well, we've seen it before. You know, it's not just corporations, like you say, media. You know, it's stars as well who come into the platform. Whereas YouTube used to be about people posting cat videos and doing silly things for you know, just for the entertainment. They've realised that there is a big audience out here. Most of the people that I talk to get most of their entertainment now from YouTube. They don't watch traditional TV.
Yeah, and that's true. There's a huge section of, I don't know about the worldwide numbers. I know about America, and it's about 80% of people use YouTube on a daily basis. Now, whether they have an account, whether they're just using the app and not signed in, whatever it may be, that's a big portion. 4 out of 5 people are using YouTube. Now, not all of them are getting their political stuff from there. Some people are finding a recipe for some, you know, winter, like Christmas dish that they're going to do, you know, but a lot of people use the platform, and that's scary to the mainstream media, that, you know, people sitting, you know, with our USB mics or with our XLR mics in the corner of a room can reach that broad of an audience. That's scary to them.
It is. But it is crazy as well if you think about it. You know, even 10 years ago, you and I couldn't do what we're doing now. We wouldn't be able to sit down and talk from opposite sides of the world. So I think that's pretty amazing. But they definitely seem to feel, you know, the smaller creators, and I know that we're not small creators. Everybody's a creator, but they're nipping at their heels, and they want their audience. They want people's attention.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And now we've seen, you could see it in the thumbnail, the dislike button going away, all again to protect these people, to protect those big corporations, to protect the media, because normal people see right through their BS.
They do, absolutely. And just before we jump into that one, I just want to say thank you to Ian Sefo. He sent us a £10 super chat. He says, Ryan has some great takes on current affairs. I also like that he never gets riled up.
Well, yeah. Every once in a while, I get a little bit riled up, don't I? So now with the end of that, I don't even know if the first part was serious, Ian. Was Ian serious about the great takes part and then sarcastic about the end? I'll never know now. But thank you, Ian.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
But you bring up a really good point with the dislike button. I think it's been kind of universally mocked. Everybody that I know, everyone who's a creator, everybody who, you know, watches YouTube, just thinks it's a stupid idea. Everyone's seen through this whole, you know, we're going to take away the thumbs down because, you know, it's not really helping people at the end of the day. But it is, you know, it's helped people decide whether or not to watch a video. And it helps creators know whether or not they're giving, you know, good content.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also, it's catering to like the extreme mentally weak people among us, right? It's about corporations. We know that. It's about the White House getting ratioed. It's about CNN getting ratioed, Washington Post, whatever. But it's also like, if they want to argue about the small creator, everybody at some point in time is going to have a take that's not as popular as most of theirs. That might be on a video that blows up, something like that. Me, for instance, I got ratioed on one video on my channel, almost one on my gaming channel, but one video on my channel, which was a cyberpunk video I did a year ago. And I said something that wasn't very popular. That's why it got ratioed. I said something. I basically said, I think CD Projekt Red is lying to people about the status of this game. I think there's something weird going on. I don't think it's ready. I think it needs to be delayed. And it was unpopular at the time because they had such a good reputation. Yes. And I got ratioed for it. Barely got ratioed. And it sucks because I felt like I was right. A lot of people disagreed with me, but you just got to move on. And as it turned out a couple months later, it was a mess. It should have been delayed. They were lying to us. And so what did I do? I made a video where I basically very sarcastically gloated at everyone and made fun of everyone who disliked my video. That didn't go over super well either. Got a lot of dislikes on that one, but it was worth it, right? Because like you're never going to align with a popular opinion all the time. Everybody's different. Everybody has one of those takes that's a little bit out there. And to basically say that anytime anyone gets ratioed, it's just a bad thing for their mental health or something, that's weak. People have disagreements. People have, opinions that don't necessarily align, and they get pushback for that. That's not a bad thing. All it does is it makes you evaluate yourself. It makes you evaluate your take. Maybe I'm not making content well, or maybe, you know what? Maybe I am right and everybody else is just wrong. That happens sometimes too.
It does, like you say, with your video. Yeah, you were right. You're just not right, or people didn't see it at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of pathetic in that way. That was interesting. But I absolutely agree. I think you talk about, the big corporations getting ratioed. If I remember correctly, the most disliked video on YouTube is actually YouTube's own Rewind, if I remember correctly, which I always thought was really funny.
Yeah, of course it is. And it's because they're out of touch. Like, it's supposed to be YouTube Rewind, and they include all these things that the vast majority of people don't want in a YouTube Rewind because they're out of touch completely with their actual creators. And also the idea of taking away the public dislike button because saying that people seeing dislikes is bad for their mental health. Well, if it's really about the creator, you can still see on the back end the number of dislikes.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the point?
And already people are getting around this by just writing dislike in the comment section. So where do we go from here? Do they remove all comment sections? How far down this rabbit hole do we go to protect people's feelings? And I should say, it's not about people's feelings. It's about people, expressing their dislike for something that they don't want to be seen to be having ratioed. Absolutely.
Yeah. And YouTube is about more than just movie opinions, right? YouTube has so much stuff in it. Oh, I can't figure out why my computer is doing this. I can't figure out why this monitor isn't working today. Well, let me go on my phone and YouTube it so I can figure this out. And when I go to a video and I see it might have 58,000 views because it got in the algorithm and stuff, but it has 200 likes and 30,000 dislikes because whoever made this video had no idea what they're doing. That's an indicator for us for things like that. What if, like, this is a crazy situation, but what if somebody was at home with someone and they started choking? They didn't know how to do CPR. They Google, how do I do CPR? And they get a video. They have to watch the entire way through before they figure out, oh, this actually isn't helpful at all, instead of maybe just looking at the dislikes. That's an extreme circumstance, but that's how people decide in a lot of ways maybe what they should watch, especially for how-to videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mexican Iron Man is back. Thank you. It says that both of you have been excellent community building with your fans like me. Question for Ryan. Who is on various platforms? What's Ryan's thoughts about which are better than others? So which platforms would you recommend to use?
Well, I'll just keep it to like video platforms, if that's what you mean, Mexican Iron Man. So right now I see 3 major video platforms. That's YouTube, and then the 2 up and coming ones would be Odysee and Rumble. I think that BitChute has been around for a really long time, but I think that BitChute's done a lot of good as far as keeping up content that won't be put up elsewhere, but I don't really see it as the future at all. I think Odysee is the best option potentially. One, It's really easy to link your YouTube to Odysee and auto upload your videos. I love that. Anything that keeps me from having to do any work whatsoever is always helpful. But I also think that Odysee has a future because of the reasons that we talked about why YouTube is so successful, because so many people use it. There's a variety of stuff. There's politics, there's normal news, there's movie reviews, there's video game stuff, there's how to fix your car, there's how-to videos, there's little music videos, like all that different kind of stuff. It's the plethora of content that makes it available to a wide range of people. Rumble, I like Rumble, but Rumble's extremely political, and it's extremely one-way political, and that can turn off a large portion of the audience. So I think ultimately it might be a little more difficult for Rumble to grow. Now I upload on all those places because I want to get my range. I want to get stuff out there as much as I can. But I think that Odysee has the best future potentially because of it's like YouTube. It's got a really good system. Once they get that Android app, I think it'll be a game changer.
I would agree with that. I use Odysee as well. Like I say, it's great for backing up. It's great just in case. I haven't streamed from them yet, but watching what happened with YouTube and then watching Odysee on Twitter also made me laugh because they were kind of very tongue-in-cheek, making fun of them, which was interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, they roast YouTube because they're a free speech platform, and you hope that they stay a free speech platform.
Yes.
Not always the case. A lot of times these startups will change, when they start to get bigger and start maybe to go after that investor money or like whatever it may be. So you got to hope that they stay true to what got them there.
I hope so as well. And just quickly, I want to say a massive thank you to Brightest Day. He sends us a $1.99 super chat. He says Ryan is so respectful towards women.
I can be to certain women at certain times. Yes, I try to be, especially if I'm a guest on their stream. But yeah, thank you, Brightest Day.
We love Ryan. Ryan's a sweetheart. And big thank you to SJ and Mice, who sends us a super sticker as well. He says, keep it up. We will. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you very much. You were talking about YouTube, and basically because it's almost become a monopoly now, it's very, very hard, similar to Twitter. Whenever there seems to be competition, it always gets either squashed or it gets taken down. Do you think that these sort of platforms have gotten too big now? That's why people are looking elsewhere?
It's not about too big. It's about where their interests are. I don't think it's a problem that YouTube's massive. I don't think it's a problem that these companies are huge. I think it's a problem that they are picking and choosing based on like political lines a lot of times who they want to have on a platform and what they want to have on a platform. I think because they are so big, in fact, they should not receive a lot of the benefits that they do have by not having to take accountability for like what they're posting. The platform versus a publisher role. And they're getting benefits from the governments of whatever country they may reside in at times for like what they're doing. I see YouTube and I see social media in general as the town square of the current age. I think that we should be extending free speech policies to these platforms. And I don't think that the platform should be held accountable for speech that's on there. I think that they should get that. I think they should get that benefit that, if someone puts up something, it's not like that YouTube should get personally held accountable for someone putting up a video that's racist or something. But I think that it's so ingrained in our society at this point. This isn't something like that. The founders, I always talk in terms of America because a lot of these companies are kind of based in America. That's where a lot of their policies are kind of derived from as far as when it gets argued about whether this should be allowed or not. I don't think the founders of my country ever envisioned something like this, right? It was all kind of in that framework. So I think if they saw what was going on today, I think they would want freedom of speech on these platforms because it is the public square. It is going out there and shouting from the corner and letting everyone know your opinion, whether that's right, whether that's wrong. whether it's abhorrent, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that all speech should be allowed to be heard, and I don't think that these corporations should be deciding whose speech is valid and whose is not. That's the big problem for me, is that you're taking away people's voice over political games, essentially, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, like you say, it's up to the individual. You do, especially obviously where you guys are from, you have this ability, you have this freedom of speech, and that is so incredibly important. And please never ever give up that right. Absolutely,
we're doing our best. we're doing our best. And I saw I was just saying, I saw that question. It stays up on Odysee.
Yeah, it does. I thought it did, which is another really good point for Odysee. I do like them, but like I say, I've never actually streamed from them yet. But I'm liking them more and more, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to stream from there as well. I want to figure out how to stream to both YouTube and Odysee at the same time. I've just been kind of lazy getting around to it. So.
And Project Storytime, exactly. We're free to be stupid, indeed. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once you start censoring what other people can say, that's when you're going down a very slippery slope. And I think it's getting to the point now. People blame it on. They can blame it on the COOF. They can blame it on the algorithm. But I would say in the last 18 months, a lot has changed on YouTube itself as a platform. Now, I haven't been around for very long. This channel isn't quite 2 years old yet, but you've been here a lot longer. Have you noticed changes as time's gone on?
Well, I haven't been here too much longer. I started about a little over 2 years ago. I think August 1st of 2019.
Nice.
And I would say it's been a slow shift. I don't think there's anything radically different about YouTube now than 2 years ago, honestly. I think it's just been a very slow move to continue to push dissenting voices off. I don't think it was like an overnight thing, but it is very clear that they want to promote authoritative sources ahead of everything else. And that's so crazy, because if you went on YouTube 10 years ago, we'll say 10 years ago, like, it was just fair game. You could have conspiracy theories, UFO stuff. You could say whatever you want.
I miss conspiracy theories and UFO stuff. Somebody's described it as being more like the Wild West back then. Yeah.
Yes, 100% the Wild West, and it was not uncommon to hear every slur imaginable wherever you went. And whether you want to watch that or not, it's up to you. That's the great part. You cannot watch that content if you don't want to watch that content. And yeah, it's very different from 10 years ago. The past 2 years, I do think it was already kind of sanitized a little bit when I came in, as far as some of the things that you could say as they were making way for a lot of these media entities and corporations to come in.
Yes, I can see that. I mean, I can see, if somebody makes a video doing a personal attack on people, or, targeting somebody in particular, I can see, that's crossing the line. But, like I said, I miss the aliens, I miss people talking conspiracy theories. I miss, the kind of more out there content that used to be a lot more prevalent, used to be a lot easier to find. It's still there, but you've got to know what you're looking for now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I don't like cat videos. Cat videos are great, but it's I do like the more out there stuff as well.
I think the cat videos have moved to like TikTok and stuff.
I think so. Yeah, and it's interesting to note that YouTube also did the shorts now, which is very similar to TikTok. So,
yeah, but they're pushing that big right now, and I actually need to do more of that because I don't do any of that, and I probably should.
Same, yeah. If it's something that's popular, I definitely need to kind of get on that. Remember when YouTube was promoting sketch comedy? Chad Vader. I remember Chad Vader.
Oh yeah, and like, what was the college humor or whatever it was?
Yes.
There was a lot of like sketch comedy stuff like that 5-6 years ago, something like that.
I mean, back when comedy could actually be comedy and be funny. Yes.
Yes. Not Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
Yes. I saw that. That was so sad. And now I obviously being British, SNL is not really something that we have much exposure to. But I cringed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Brightest Day, yeah, Brightest Day is really good with the shorts. A lot of people really like it. It's just one of those tools that I haven't really used myself, but I'll give it a go. Absolutely.
Yeah, I need to do it, and I stream so much, and I have so many opportunities probably where I could clip like a little 30 or 60-second thing out of that I probably should just start doing that. It's just finding the time, and you know, I uh, I run a lot of channels, obviously, and
Mm-hmm.
listen. I record it, I edit it, I do the thumbnails, I upload it, I do everything. Me, and that's how we run it at Geeks and Gamers in general. Like if Jeremy makes a video for Geeks and Gamers, he's the one doing the editing, he does the thumbnail, he puts it up. You know, at some point you start to do so much. It's like, man, I might need somebody to help with that. So and think I have my nerdy home. Yeah, my nerdy home has actually done a couple like of my edits of when I'm like out to eat and stuff like that, which has been
Awesome.
extremely helpful. She's awesome. So
She is.
yeah,
Lovely lady. But then again, pretty much the entire crew, Geeks and Gamers, are lovely people. I haven't had the pleasure of getting to meet you guys in person yet. Fingers crossed for next year. Now that we can actually travel again. Thank you. The borders are back open.
that's good.
But just seeing you guys, especially when you did the Vegas meetup, for example, just how much fun and how people were just getting on. It was so good to see. And this is the community that people don't see the side of very often. They will talk about, how terrible YouTubers are, we're all ists and phobes and we're all, horrible people. But
Yeah.
it's not true.
Yeah, it's how dare you not like this movie that I want you to
Yeah.
like? How dare you? Yeah, and we were blown away by the Vegas meetup. The fact that 300-400 people came was insane. I don't think any of us were expecting that. And then a couple weeks ago in Arizona, we did a very last minute Geeks and Gamers meetup because myself and Jeremy actually went out there for business, and we were only going to be out there for like 2 days. And there's someone there that has a bar that's a big fan of ours that wanted us to do a meetup there. Like, why not? So at like a week notice, we were like, hey, Gary, you can drive out there. It's not too far away from California. So he drove out there for the day. We had like 125, 150 people maybe at that meetup with very little notice. And that was mind blowing to us. So hopefully whenever we do the big one, I know we're going to do another one in Vegas at some point. I know we're going to do probably one in Texas at some point. Now that Gary's going to be there. But when we do Orlando, that's going to be massive. And I hope we can get a lot of people.
That's going to be amazing. And I think that's what people want. One of the things that I took away from watching the meetups that you guys have done is just how much people really enjoy getting together and just hanging out. It seemed like after the year that we've had with 2020, everybody just really needed that break to kind of let their hair down and have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that it was big for people, and so many people have been kept inside and all those things. And it's good to get out. It's good to get out and be around people that we don't agree on everything, but we a lot of us have the same general values, which I think is important.
Absolutely. And our 70s rock band is one of our Canadian friends. And yep, I had the exact same issue, unfortunately, guys, but we can travel again, so I'm very, very excited. So 2022 is the year to travel and do these meetups.
Yeah, hopefully. Who knows? COVID-20, COVID-21, whatever may happen.
Please don't say that. I don't think I could cope again. I can't go back into lockdown.
Yeah, it's bad.
Mexican Iron Man has a question for you, Ryan, and a big, big thank you again. He says, how does Ryan like being on the East Coast time zone, and how does he maintain work, like family, personal balance?
I've lived on the East Coast, or at least on Eastern time zone, which extends almost halfway across the country in America. basically my entire life, with the exception of the last 4 years, which I was in California. And that really screwed me because now I cannot seem to get back with Eastern time zone. It was nice. I was waking up at 6:30, 7 in the morning. I was getting all this work done, all that stuff. Now it's like I get done with Tuesday night's main event. It's 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. I sleep until 9. I feel lazy. So I'm not a big fan of the East Coast time zone right now because so much of my other schedule is late. It just goes late at night.
Yes.
So that's kind of tough for me. But as far as balancing everything, I'm just working a lot right now. Let's just put it that way. I don't have a great balance because I want to making the decision to, get out of the military, and instead of going to a normal civilian job, which I have the opportunities and I've got the offers to do, I decided to kind of take the risk and do YouTube. And you get out of that what you put into it. And so I am making sure for myself that I've made the right decision by putting as much of my efforts as I possibly can into YouTube right now. So
yes.
I don't have much of a balance, at least not right now.
Well, it seems like it's working incredibly well for you. Like I said, you guys are going from strength to strength. I mean, FNT is like the biggest show on Fridays. Your Tuesday shows that you're doing incredibly successful. I get to watch you on Sundays. I love the Sunday show that you do. It's hard. It really is hard. And people in the chat are saying, time zones make it a lot more difficult. For me, I find it a lot more difficult as well because obviously being in the UK, there's either 6, 5, 8, whichever time zone difference as well.
Yeah, and and luckily for I feel like my Sunday streams are an okay time because they start at 6:30 now my time, which I believe is probably around like 11:30 your time. I'm on Eastern time. So, and that's not early or anything, but at least you get to catch a little bit of it probably.
Exactly, I can still watch it. Yeah, I tend to be a night owl anyway. But it's like you say, it's a balance. It's you. There's so much, and there's so many channels that you want to support, and so many people that you want to listen to, and then you're watching them on catch up, but then there's somebody else that's going live at the same time. So it's sometimes a case of being sport for choice.
Yeah,
but that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, and the great thing is there's room for all of us. There's a lot of times there is so many streams going on at the same time, but everybody's still carrying good numbers because there's just that many people that are interested in this stuff right now.
Absolutely. And Leah Rose says, I like to see you on with Jeremy on Friday nights. And hello, sweetheart. Hello. We were just talking about you. Hello.
We were. What's up, Steph?
Hello, Stephanie. Hello, honey. Good to see you.
I saw she just shared the stream out as well. So thank you guys for sharing this out there. We've got
much appreciated.
40 people watching. So heck yeah. 46.
46. Nice.
Smash the like button.
Thank you, guys. Pete Ward it skipped on me. I hate it when it does that. Pete Ward says one of the downsides I never get to watch FNT live. I think Pete Ward's over here just because it goes so late. I don't tend to be able to watch all of it, but I watch as much as I can and then I'll watch it on catch up. But like I say, it's becoming kind of must watch TV. Well, not much watch TV, but a much watched show.
We are moving the time up a little bit. I think we're going to start trying to do it at 4:30 Eastern. So that would be about 9:30 UK time.
Nice.
So there you go. So you'll at least be able to partake in a little bit more of it, hopefully, if we starting a little bit closer to on time.
Is that because of the guest, or is that just because it's an easier time for you guys to get together? Because I know obviously Az is over here in the UK, bless him.
I think that's a big part of it, because Az has been staying up so late, and that's just it's got to be killing him a lot. So, and just we want to try to square it away a little bit. So we're starting, at a consistent time every day, and I think we're going to try that little hour earlier time slot at about 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern, and we'll see how that goes.
That sounds amazing. And before we kind of move on, let me just say congratulations to having some incredible guests on recently. Uh, just you guys are absolutely blowing it out of the water.
It's sometimes it doesn't feel real, you know, because I 2.5 years ago, there's no way, actually like 3 months ago, there's no way you could have convinced me that I ever would have been on a stream with Alex Jones. You
How
know,
surreal was that?
oh, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And you know, Count Dankula, I've been watching him for years. You know, and the fact that he was just casually with us on Friday Night Tides was crazy. Lauren Chen, I watched Lauren Chen for a long time. I watched her before she showed her face to anyone, you know, on YouTube, and like she was one of the first real cool guests for me on Friday Night Tides to watch because I've been watching her for so long. She has obviously a lot of different coverage normally than the stuff we talk about, but it's been a blessing to be able to interact with so many people. And that's not even including like, you know, Maul or Critical Drinker, you know, people that
Yes.
are very much in our sphere. You know, I feel humbled and honored and just privileged the fact that I get to hang out on a stream with those guys for a while.
It's incredibly entertaining. It really is, and you can tell how much you guys are having fun as well. Because there is that it's the banter back and forth. You know, it's not scripted. You know, it's coming from the heart, and you guys are all clearly very good friends.
Yeah, and that's the best part about it is all that. You know, all of that is very genuine. Like we all love each other. We all like to give each other shit. We like to mess around. We like to make fun of each other, and I think people like it because it's very genuine. You know, we're not trying to put on a fake show for anybody. We're literally just getting on there for a couple hours every day. We shoot the shit and have fun with each other.
You do, and we've got a lot of your moderators in the chat at the moment, and I know Lord Thuff is here, Chris Persia, I think Eric Kay is around as well. Incredible support. I mean, the chat really brings it every week as well, as they do with all chats. You know, we have some incredible people that support these channels, and we love you. We really do.
Yeah, the chat is amazing. The chat's on fire. I think one of the cool things for Ricada's streams has been the reaction that so many people who are not in this sphere see to the chat and how funny the people in chat are, the memes, like the jokes, the sayings, everything. The inside jokes from stream to stream. It's funny, and like the chat makes these shows in a lot of ways.
They really do. Ishard Melody says, Ryan, have you changed your title to CVC yet? Laminate that DD214. I can still see the coffee stain on mine from '96.
Yeah, so yeah, it's nice being a civilian again. That's for sure. I have the digital copy of my DD214, so I should be good on that way. I can always pull it up again in my email if I need it. I probably should print out. Well, I actually do have a hard copy laying around because I had to go take it to get my concealed carry permit in Florida. So I do have a copy of that.
I know it sounds silly, but if I ever do get to kind of move, that's one of the things I would really love to do is learn how to use a firearm.
Oh yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it if you get here. One, you can protect yourself, and two, they're a lot of fun. So
they look it from what I've seen of people. I don't know. There's a fascination. I think it's because we don't have weapons over here the way that you guys are allowed. It's definitely on my bucket list of things to do.
Yeah, well, and just like any other hobby that people have, that's something they go out and enjoy, whether it's finding something and trying to better yourself in some way, like whatever that may be, is always good for people. And so when you go out there, if you're going to the gun range, maybe every other Sunday or something like that, just for practice, to try to better yourself, to try to get away from whatever's going on, it's really helpful in that way. And so, yeah, I think that the stigma against guns is a thing that does not need to exist. And as long as people are properly trained and have the right safety protocols in place, it's an awesome thing that everyone should be doing.
Exactly, absolutely. Yeah, always. And as we've seen, safety first is priority. Uh, Let me say
Yeah,
a big thank you to Nerdporeal Life for me. Says, hi, Purple. Happy to be here. I think I met this guy next to you in real life. Hey, Ryan.
that's
He's a hell of
true.
a singer. Sang Pokemon theme in Chicago. Indeed.
I did actually at a bar in Chicago. The Pokemon theme song somebody played it on the jukebox. And yeah, so we had a little sing along at a Chicago bar where everybody probably thought we were a bunch of fucking nerds, but yeah.
Were they
Good to
wrong,
see you,
though, to be
Nerdporial.
fair?
No, they were 100% right. But we were belting out Gotta Catch 'Em All. That was fun.
Mark says, new live stream, Uprange with Purple Valkyrie.
Ooh, there you go.
There we go. I will see what I can do, Mark. Absolutely.
That'd be fun.
It would be
Some
fun.
people have
Something I wanna try.
like there's like those channels that are like, I've never watched Star Wars before. My first time you got to do my first time at the gun range. I've
Oh,
never touched a
yes.
gun before.
I haven't. It's true. I've never even seen one in person. Well, other than, being carried by
Movies
other
or
people. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. There was a comment that we had way, way back before we even started that I was going to touch on because I did think it was kind of funny. Somebody said, don't mention the Muppets.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the Muppets.
Are they still picking on you, Ryan? Are they still having a go?
Well, no one's picking on me. I was picking on them, apparently. It was not right. It was very mean of me to retweet fake characters on Twitter and basically tell them to fuck off because they were spreading propaganda. And like, it was so dumb because every Sesame Street character put out a tweet about trying to encourage people to get the jab. And I haven't retweeted any actual person that's saying, hey, I think you should go get the jab. The reason that I retweeted them was because I think it's kind of a very weird thing for one, just days after Pfizer gets approved for people ages 5 to 10, that Sesame Street does this thing to promote kids getting the jab. And then on Twitter, which no kids are even allowed on Twitter, you have these fictional characters that are promoting that. And I'm not anti-vax in any way, shape, or form. I have a lot of different vaccinations, but I think that a lot of those are a little bit different than what's coming out. And I don't have any problem with any individual coming out and, putting out their viewpoint about what should happen. I have a problem when it's fake characters and that it's clearly propaganda aimed at children.
Yes.
So I had a little bit of fun with them and I retweeted them and people were up in arms that I said something bad about Elmo and Big Bird.
They get really mad, didn't they? They really, really got mad that you're talking to this imaginary character on Twitter. But like you say, kids aren't allowed on Twitter. So who were these actually aimed at,
Yeah, it's a very weird situation. And I also think it's very weird for anyone to get like upset that I'm telling a fictional character to F off, like why are you they're like, they're not real. Like, I'm like, I know, like, that's why I'm saying this, because I know they're not real. That's the point. Yeah.
Paris doesn't need to go to Gonzo and get my yearly eye exam soon. Chris says, never trusted Elmo. No,
you shouldn't. Clearly the people that are that upset have tickled Elmo one too many times. It's pretty clear.
No, poor Elmo knows where you live. Probably.
Maybe. He probably does. He's kind of a weirdo.
I did watch it and I watched it unfold and I just sat back and laughed. I thought, no, this is so stupid. And people were so passionate about it as well. They were just throwing hate in your direction and you were just kind of rolling with it. So I thought it was pretty damn funny.
Nice. Yeah. I just was surprised by the backlash to it, I guess. I think I got on the trending tab over my Elmo tweet specifically. No one cared what I said about Big Bird. Nobody cared about how I trashed Oscar the Grouch. But the Elmo thing, people really took offense to that.
Elmo is off limits, apparently. Who knew? And my nerdy home says Ryan owns an Elmo.
She sent me one. She sent me one for my birthday, actually. So there's one in the house.
Oh, that's so cute.
I'm probably gonna cut its head off on a live stream or something. Set it on fire. I don't know.
Oh no. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the hate and blowback you'd get if you did that?
I can indeed
So
imagine.
you're gonna do it anyway? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Good.
I might. I'll think about it.
Poor Elmo. Before we wrap up, because I know you're very busy, is there anything else that you would like to kind of touch on? I know we've kind of talked about, the ins and outs of YouTube, how stupid it is, and how, people really want their voices to be heard, but at the moment they seem to be suppressed, or it seems to be if you're not saying the right thing, then you're not going to be heard. Do you think that this is a trend that's going to continue, or do you think it's going to swing back the other way?
I think it will swing back the other way, but I think we've got a ways to go till we're there. I don't think we've hit like the point yet. I think it's going to continue to get worse for a while, and that in that time we need to remain vigilant and remain fighting and remain talking about these things and bringing it up, and not just bend the knee and not just assume things will get better. We have to actively work and put our voices out there and put pressure on everyone to make sure it does get better. I think that every day, and the further that they push, the more people are waking up to what's going on. I think when you see like the Rittenhouse trial and people come to the realization that, wait, you mean like the people that were shot weren't black? Oh, the mainstream media has been acting like they were, and all these different narratives. The more people see that and are exposed to it, the more people will wake up. The more people wake up, the harder they will push. So eventually there will be a tipping point. And I think that's a couple of years away still. And I hope it's there. And I hope that people that are on our side, quote unquote, are still have the energy and the ability to push back on it.
I think so. I think you're right. It's like you say, it's there's so many voices out there, we're all kind of pushing in the same direction. But at the same time, we have got this huge vocal minority shouting and screaming on the other side. And sometimes those voices, they get drowned out. But we just have to keep persevering with it. Absolutely. But it's not just the same, on YouTube. It's other media as well. We've had IPs, for example. If you don't like Star Wars, you're no longer a Star Wars fan. It's the whole, attacking of the fans that I think also needs to stop as well.
Yeah, for sure. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with Star Wars. They gave a pretty big FU to the fans with renewing Kathleen Kennedy's contract. Again, I'm at a different place with Star Wars than a lot of people. I think that I was ready to hop off the Star Wars bandwagon when Disney bought them because I was worried about what they would do, because I felt like they were extremely disrespectful to what I had consumed so much of Star Wars, which was the expanded universe.
Yes.
I thought that the way that they threw it in the trash and then decided to start cherry picking little bits from it in the name of creative freedoms, when really they didn't want creative freedoms. They just wanted a blank slate. So they didn't have to follow canon because they were going to be so bad about maintaining continuity anyway. So I was in a different place. I feel like I'm years ahead of where other Star Wars fans are in terms of me coming to grips with who the people are that are running it. And that's why I've been saying for a long time that the Kathleen Kennedy stuff is bogus. She's not going anywhere until she wants to leave. That's pretty obvious. And the kicker to that is, even if she was fired, even if she was ousted, even if she was let go, what changes there?
Nothing.
And nothing. That's the answer, because top to bottom, people have been complicit in this entire agenda. And I know people want to think that Favreau and Dave are the right guys and they're doing stuff behind the scenes, but no, they're working together. Like that's just blatantly obvious at this point. And I think that I'm still going to talk about it. I still love what Star Wars was, and I'm still going to push back when I see them doing shit that they shouldn't do. But if Kathleen Kennedy steps down, who's going to be replaced? Michelle Rejwan. Someone like that will go up there, and you'll still have all the same activists, all the same people in the story group, all the same people that are working for, whether it's talent acquisition, whether it's production, whether it's management. Nearly all of these people are in this echo chamber.
Yes.
You might have the outlier like Gina Carano. You might have a few people on set who are like boom operators or camera operators that might agree with stuff Gina says, but they're too scared to say anything. So until it's a top to bottom gut of Lucasfilm, Disney Star Wars is not changing.
Yeah, it's been said before, and I know people like Loki and Mexican Iron Man have said it before. The rot is within the company. KK is just a figurehead, so it really doesn't matter, as you said, whether she stays or whether she goes, because at the end of the day, nothing is going to change until they need to clean house, basically.
Yeah,
But I do feel sorry for the fans. I really do. And somebody mentioned Star Trek fans. Project Storytime said Star Trek fans were there before with JJ. It's across the board, it seems now, with franchises. Doctor Who, for example, we've even seen it in games, and it's even leaking now into things like board games with Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Whatever hobby that people have, whatever it is that you love, seems to have this corruption seeping into it. It's like there's no escape from it anymore.
Yeah, it really is. And we talked about it a little bit on Tuesday night's main event. And I've said it a couple times that you always hear that politics is downstream from culture. That's what you hear. You change the culture, you change the politics. Well, culture is downstream from entertainment. So a lot of these people have infiltrated all forms of entertainment in order to change culture. And so that's where it's at. These battles are worth fighting. These battles are worth talking about, bringing attention to, whether it's Doctor Who or Star Trek or Star Wars or comic books or board games or video games. Like, all of those things affect culture. And so that's why it's so important we continue to fight.
I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. And, back in the day, you could have this form of escapism, and there is no form of escapism, because all it seems now is that, as you were saying, current day politics, modern sensibilities are being pushed into all of these stories, and you just cannot get away from it. And all people want is just a little bit of a break sometimes. They just want to be able to go play a video game or go play a board game or watch a film and escape for a little bit. And I think that's why people are getting so frustrated now. And it's not just, the main fans, the real hardcore fans. Even normies are starting to wake up to this, which I think will then turn the tide.
Yeah, and that's what we need. We need the normies. As shitty as that is, we need the normies who aren't paying as close of attention to wake up. And that's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not just, one bad movie from Marvel, there you go. No, it's a lot more than that. So
yeah, it is. But I think it's kind of heartening to see, especially you bring up Marvel, how many misfires they're having with this Phase 4, shall we say. We had the Spider-Man trailer released last night with Sony, and how excited are people over that trailer compared to previous trailers we've had from Marvel. Just a huge difference with what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, but even in that one, the reason so many people are excited is because they're bringing, reportedly, rumored, leaked, they're bringing back Andrew and Toby, right?
Yeah.
Like, even that, it's because of the nostalgia bait that they need from all the other stuff that's happened to carry this movie. So
yeah, it's easy to be cynical. I mean, there have been some bright spots. I really love Dune. I thought that was a great film.
I love Dune. Yeah,
really hoping that Ghostbusters, if not a amazing film, is at least a fun film, which fingers crossed it will be. But we are kind of short on really good entertainment at the moment, it seems.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan. Like, I like Ghostbusters 1. I thought Ghostbusters 2 was fine. But I'm not like attached to it in any way. So I'm kind of approaching that a little bit different. I hope it's really good because of so much love that people have for it. I really hope it's great. I hope it's fantastic. But we'll see. It's not hitting me. The promotion for this isn't hitting me the same way it seems to be hitting a lot of other people.
Yeah, and I think, as you say, it's similar with the Spider-Man. It is playing very heavily on nostalgia. So if you don't have the love for the previous films, it's not going to, be as big an impact on you. But I have high hopes for it. Hope springs eternal, as they say. So
there you go.
We'll see. Before I let you go and before I let everybody go, tell everybody where can they find you and what have you got coming up this week?
You can find me at RK Outpost. You can find me my sports channel, Sports Wars, over at Geeks and Gamers. I have RK Outpost Live, I have RK Outpost Gaming, and I have my new channel, Patriot Outpost. Those are all my YouTube channels, I think, if I can remember right.
Until he makes another one.
Until I make another one. I'm also on Twitch at RK Outpost. I stream there every once in a while. But yeah, other than that, I have no idea what I have coming up. I have no idea. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I know that I stream every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, or sorry, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I stream every Friday with Friday Night Tights. I stream every Tuesday with Geeks and Gamers Tuesday Night Main Event. Other than that, it's all up in the air. So.
We did say that you're working very hard, and it shows, because you are going from strength to strength, and I'm just really, really thankful that you took the time to talk to us today. So thank you.
No, thank you so much for having me on. I know it's a pain in the ass to wrangle me sometimes, but no, I appreciate the persistence, and I'm really glad we were able to do this. I'm glad we got a good crowd here. So
we did.
All good.
We had an amazing crowd, and you've been a fantastic guest, and it's been my honor to get to chat to you. So guys, please, if you are not subscribed to any of Ryan's channels, please do so. Big thank you to the mods for putting the links out. Links are also in the description below. I will be back on Friday. I'm also back later on this evening on this channel with Arwen. We're going to do Pink and Purple in the afternoon, so looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. Other than that, have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, guys. Look after each other, and a big, big thank you to everybody who sent super chats, everybody who sent super stickers, and to everybody who joined us today. You guys were on fire as always. So thank you again to Ryan, and guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Bye, everybody.